To the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel here, and we are going to be reviewing NXT tonight for July, 13th, 2021. Yeah, all of our days. Well, I got a little clock over here with the date and stuff on it, so that helps a little bit. So we're going to be reviewing tonight's show. Also, we're going to get into Monday Night Raw thoughts, but before we do that, if you're finding us for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content right here on this channel. So Monday Night Raw for July 12th, 2021. I thought it was a pretty terrible show, with the exception of there were two matches that were actually pretty decent. The show opened up with Paul Orndorff graphic. Of course, he passed away. I believe it was this weekend, if I remember correctly, or that or Monday. But either way, definitely worth noting Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. The only thing I really remember him from was the main event of WrestleMania 1. I know a lot of people have fond memories of him, and keep an eye out here on the channel for our trivia and fun facts guru Mike. He sent in a video and he was discussing his thoughts on the career and life of Paul Orndorff, so keep your eye out for that. That should be up about the time this video is up on the channel as well, so check out that. So yeah, we started out with that. There were a lot of people who were mad online about there wasn't any 10 bell salute. Hello fans, this show was taped last week. They've already tore down the Thunderdome, so that's why there's no 10 bell salute, so calm down. They put it together a graphic, and they showed it again tonight on NXT, so they at least paid respects to him for sure. Bobby Lashley and Xavier Woods opened up the show, one-on-one match. Xavier Woods, after getting destroyed for about 60% of this match, rolls up Bobby Lashley and pins the WWE champion clean in the middle of the ring with a roll-up, or what was it, a small package. It was a version of a roll-up, whatever. And yeah, so I can't, for the life of me, if you weren't doing this all the time, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But we've discussed many times here about pinning champions. They're doing it far too much. I understand you're trying to make Bobby Lashley out to look like he's at least vulnerable going into a match against Kofi Kingston, to at least give us the idea that Kofi could beat him. But this ain't the way to go about it. Don't pin your champion like this. So I couldn't get behind this at all. And he was not the only champion that WWE pinned on this night, which is, again, one of our biggest nitpicks here on the show. Also, speaking of those, AJ Styles got pinned by Ivar. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, got pinned by Ivar in 3 minutes. Pause for dramatic effect. Then we had Natalya, one of the half of the women's tag champions, got pinned by Rhea Ripley. Now, this was a good match between Rhea Ripley and Natalya here. But Natalya, not to mention, she got put in the Money in the Bank women's ladder match. And, of course, we've seen many wrestlers on SmackDown get put into that match for no good reason at all. Natalya has lost on SmackDown this last week and Monday this week, and yet she somehow still got put in the Money in the Bank match. Tell me how she earned that. I don't know. But, yeah, Rhea ended up pinning her clean in the middle of the ring. Again, it's the Raw Women's Champion. I get that, but then you book two champions to go against each other. One of them's going to lose. So, yeah, 3 champions lose in one night. Not the best way to keep your belt or your champion strong. So I don't understand why they're doing that. But yeah, the Bobby Lashley one makes the most sense if you weren't to do it every week. So I get what they were trying to do. And at least they tried to redeem him. But why he has to take losses to Kofi and Xavier both going into a title match where Bobby's most likely going to destroy both of them at this show to bring in Big E to Raw, most likely. So it really doesn't make much sense. Of course, multiple roll-ups on this show as well. Ricochet versus John Morrison also had a great match. A Falls Count Anywhere match that had a lot of great action, especially for Ricochet. Ricochet looked the best he's looked since he came up to the main roster here. So, yeah, definitely good to see that. It would have been even better had it not had Riddle and Miz doing shenanigans on the outside. Miz acted like a turtle on its back when Riddle laid his wheelchair on its back. So Miz was acting like he couldn't get up. Even I know he's got a torn ACL, but he could still move around and not. And, of course, during the match, they kept cutting back to Miz, who was still flailing about like a turtle. So it was like, what are you guys doing? let's see here. Yeah, Nikki Ash with another roll-up victory on Asuka. She pinned Asuka at a Fatal 4-Way match. During this match, Alexa Bliss went on the outside to confront Eva Marie and Doudrop, who she was trying to make friends with Doudrop. But after she kind of went after Eva Marie, Doudrop dumped Alexa Bliss over the barricade on the outside, and Alexa disappeared. While this was going on, the Fatal 4-Way was supposedly going on in the ring, but we didn't see anything that was going on in the ring for about a 2 to 3 minute span, so they just kind of absolutely forgot all about it. So yeah, Nikki Ash, who for some reason got pinned last week by Nia Jax, is back to her winning ways. So why did she take that loss to Nia? They just kind of, I don't know. Jinder Mahal rode a motorcycle into the building. He did this last week too, and as soon as he rolled this motorcycle in the building last week, I knew this was coming. Drew McIntyre destroyed this motorcycle after Jinder Mahal supposedly, stole his sword, and then I guess he was going to get it refurbished, and I guess this week he unveiled that he actually, broke the sword. But it was all a ruse because Drew McIntyre said that was a replica that Jinder stole. He had the real one backstage, so I guess Vince's sword that he's allowing Drew to use for this segment is still intact. No worries there. And there were people online who was comparing Drew McIntyre destroying the motorcycle to Stone Cold Steve Austin destroying Vince McMahon's Corvette years ago with concrete. There's no similarities to this. The difference that for one, the Austin Vince thing had months and months of build to that. This has had 2 weeks. So no one cares about the motorcycle stuff here. Also, we had more Drew McIntyre giving history lessons this week. This week involved some sort of story about Icarus. Don't ask. At least the show ended with Bobby Lashley cutting probably his best promo, and he said that MVP needs to stop with the lounge, the girls, and Bobby needs to become a killer again. He then started chucking furniture around and said that he'll destroy Kofi on Sunday. This was a great promo, and of course, I kind of would have liked to seen him destroy the Thunderdome. I know Brian Alvarez kind of mentioned that on Wrestling Observer Radio as well. Because why not? The Thunderdome is no longer going to be used. So go out, destroying things in a rage. But I would care more about this if the booking of the World Champion has not been Rawful, just like as this show itself. So Monday Night Rawful. That's what we'll start calling it.
Monday Night Rawful.
Yeah. Any thoughts at all, Brandon, on this at all?
Not at all.
Yeah, this is why I was actually going to review Raw. I reviewed SmackDown last week on Friday night since I didn't have anything better to do. I thought it was an okay show, all things considered, but you can check out that review on the channel. And I was going to do the same with Raw last night, but as soon as the show opened up with Xavier Woods pinning the WWE Champion, I tapped out. I was like, nope, not doing it. So but that brings us to the better show of the week, as it is consistently, and that is WWE NXT. Show opened up again with the Paul Orndorff Memorial graphic, whatever you want to call it. So definitely a good show. Respect again. Then we had Dakota Kai. She defeated Ember Moon. Ember Moon, who no longer has Shotzi Blackheart. They kind of tried to explain it away a little bit because Shotzi got called up to the main roster with a little tweet at the bottom of the screen that showed Ember wishing her good luck on the main roster. But yeah, it's a shame that Shotzi was not able to continue anything she had going here, especially Tegan Nox as well, who just came back last week and confronted Candice LeRae. It sounds like we're not going to get that at all anymore. They just got to drop that and act like it never happened. So that's one of the, I guess, downfalls of going to the main roster for sure. But yeah, Dakota Kai defeated Ember Moon here. The finish had Kai executed a go-to kick with Moon draped over the top rope. Kai then covered Moon for the pinfall. So yeah, I mean, this sucks to be Ember Moon. Seems like, I mean, as soon as Shotzi's gone, all of a sudden now she's jobbing to. Now, granted, she's the assistant, or I wouldn't call her the muscle to, or what's her name? Raquel Gonzalez. But yeah, so it sounds like, they're definitely using this to set up the finish where Xia Li come out and confronted Raquel Gonzalez. She walked right past Dakota Kai and just kind of ignored her and went right to Raquel. So she is soon challenging Gonzalez for her championship. They had a stare down. Ali then left as quickly as she came in. It was kind of odd, but yeah. So any thoughts, Brandon?
Nope. I mean, I thought it was good. It served its purpose. I knew what it was there for. I'm interested to see what happens. But I don't think you're going to get it right. Well, no, they did set that up, didn't they? Because I was going to say, since she snubbed Tegan, maybe you'll get her and Tegan first before she gets to...
You mean Dakota Kai?
Yeah, Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, I said Tegan. That's
Yeah,
'cause we were
there's a lot of these girls' names I get confused sometimes too. I just did it with Raquel. I was trying to say somebody else, and I was like, nope, that's not it. So yeah, yeah. So after this, we got part 1 of Cameron Grimes as the Butler, featuring LA Knight making Grimes get a makeover. Knight made Grimes sit down for a trim of his beard and long hair. Knight then made Grimes dress in a suit. Knight was trolling Grimes though. However, the joke was on Knight because Grimes said he looked great. This whole show they were doing these vignettes with the Butler, and it was just interesting because everything LA Knight was trying to get Grimes to kind of hate or do Grimes was enjoying every bit of it. So
and it's one of the things that were like, you thought that this was your opportunity to embarrass him even more, and then it turns out that no, he's there for it. So it just infuriated, Knight, because that's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be humiliating him. And it's not working, and it's like you can see the frustration levels rise as it goes through these different skits with LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. And it's I personally laughed my eyes off.
I thought it was good fun, and especially when Cameron Grimes. I thought for sure when they pulled the mirror down and Cameron Grimes saw him, he thought he'd look ugly because he's used to his look. But no, he loved it. He loved the makeover. He's basically very appreciative, and so I mean he's approached this with a great attitude. It's actually making it a lot of fun to watch. After this, we had Malcolm Bivens. He was with the Diamond Mine for a pre-tape promo. This built up a match later on between Tyler Rust and Bobby Fish. Does Bobby Fish got some beef with Roderick Strong? I don't recall.
I believe so. I mean, he left in the sense of like he left when it was that kind of like we need to do something here, we need to either stand together or try to talk these two out of this whole thing, and he just dipped, he pieced out.
Yeah.
And so it's it may be that animosity here towards he left and then came back with a new team instead of trying to help his brothers. So
yeah, and this basically led to Tyler Rust defeating Bobby Fish, which I got to admit kind of surprised me a little bit. I understand you're trying to get the up-and-comer a little bit of a rub here and get him a win. Yeah. But to me, it was a typical WWE finish. Roderick Strong jumped up on the apron to cause a distraction that allowed for a sneak attack by Rust with a chop block on Bobby Fish. Rust then nailed Fish with a Yoshihiro Tajiri buzzsaw kick, and Rust covered Fish for a 3 count. So yeah, it was distraction finish. I mean, again, you can do, so I'm not going to really hurt NXT because of it. But yeah, if it starts to become a thing, always the case.
I mean,
it made some sense with the heel, so I got no problem with it in this case. But yeah, it's just it kind of becomes a bit predictable. Even when the other brand is doing it, it kind of hurts NXT a little bit because everybody's so used to seeing it all the time. So when you do it sparingly on the third brand, it makes the third brand feel like the main roster. So that's not necessarily their fault, but it's a product of what's going on. The Diamond Mine, consisting of Russ, Strong, Bivens, and Hideki Suzuki, surrounded Fish after the match. They were closing in when NXT Cruiserweight Champion Kushida ran down to back up Fish. The Diamond Mine backed down and left the ring. This seems to be setting up some sort of a tag team match, which they announced later we are going to be getting next week on the show. So, absolutely. NXT Champion Karrion Kross was warming up for his title match. This was great. Samoa Joe, dressed in a very tight referee shirt, I might add, was giving Kross instructions. He concluded by telling Kross to obey his command at all times. Joe asked Kross if he hurt him. Kross kept hitting a punching bag, ignoring Joe, so Joe got his attention by kicking the bag himself and getting in Kross's face. Kross warned Joe not to cost him the match. Joe said he took that as a yes from Kross, and he walked away. So yes, definitely continuing to build the tension between Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross here. So we're
not just Karrion. It's
a lot of guys.
The guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get a little bit more in that when it comes down to the main event. So stay tuned. We had Sarai defeating Gigi Dolan. She pinned Dolan as Mandy Rose from the main roster. Came out and watched the match from the stage.
So I'm looking at her and I'm like, why do I know you?
Yeah.
Because it didn't click in my head.
Yeah, if the announcers didn't say it either, I'd have been like, who's the girl? Yeah.
And I'm like,
she had her hair pulled back and had a nice jacket, so it looked a little different than her normal attire.
But her voice and her mannerisms, I was like, I know you.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out who the fuck it was. And I'm like, why do I know you?
Yeah.
And then after the match, ended, and then the little backstage thing they had, that's when I was like, Mandy Rose, the fuck are you?
Which is
doing
interesting.
here?
Yes, I know they called up a couple girls, but but here's the thing: they've been using Mandy Rose with Dana Brooke on Monday Night Raw. Now, granted, they've had tag title matches and lost, so maybe they're just moving on. But it was just interesting to see Mandy Rose back on NXT. I guess that she kind of got a promotion in a way. I mean, kind of surprised. Yeah, so they brought up a couple girls on SmackDown. So yeah, I guess Mandy just got her way and got to go back. I don't know if she asked for it or not.
I would have.
Yeah, I would have too. I don't blame her. She's probably much happier down there for sure. But yeah, I mean, this was interesting for sure. I also thought it was funny how the crowd kept chanting, "You don't go here."
Yeah.
so I was like, that was pretty good. Yeah. So this match was apparently set up by an angle that was on WWE Network exclusive, and so yeah, it was pretty much a. But I'll tell you this: I guess Gigi Dolan was formerly known as Priscilla Kelly before joining the NXT brand, so I remember that name. I thought she looked good here in this match against Sarai. She took a beating, but
she did.
Yeah, so
it was still good.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I like the name Gigi Dolan, but
yeah,
well, but yeah,
it's like the whole Malachi thing. Mordecai.
Yeah, Malachi Black on AEW. Yeah,
it'll grow on me.
Mm-hmm. That never.
One name that won't grow on me. It's fucking Anthony Ogogo. I don't give a shit.
And what's sad is that's his real illegal name. Yeah. So
just change that shit.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I think someone said he's injured right now. That's why we didn't see him last week. So that might be why. So at least you get a break from the Falcon Punch. So
yeah, he probably broke his wrist. Falcon Punch is
something. I'm not sure. Let's see. They were having a really good match when Mandy walked on the stage. Rose watched from the top of the entrance ramp as Sarai and Dollar beat the hell out of each other. This was probably the most competitive match Sarai has wrestled in on television. Sarai with a stiff drop kick against the ropes as normal, and high angle suplex for the finish. Then Sarai covered Dollar for the pinfall. So yeah, Sarai continues to look good, but definitely got some stiff kicks, and she's had no sense of her debut. So.
She does.
I feel bad for anybody wrestling her, but it looked good though. Otherwise, Santos Escobar defeated Dexter Lumis, and Dexter Lumis was in rare form tonight. Stalking him and the rest of Legado del Fantasma. This was great.
I don't know what it is about Dexter Lumis that I find so intriguing.
Yeah,
I guess in the same sense, it's what people find about Orange Cassidy intriguing. Where you have a guy who doesn't say anything, but his actions speak louder than his words. But his actions are so subtle a lot of times.
Yeah.
And it's not his face, because he doesn't give you any facial expression. Well, except that one time when that chick hugged him, which I fucking died.
The wide eye, like, what do I do?
Yeah. Because he gives you this deadpan stare. And if you look in his eyes, this is going to make me sound some type of way, but hear me out.
Okay.
He has the brightest blue eyes, right?
Yeah.
So when you look in his eyes, it's like, is there anything fucking in there? But it's just the look he has.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? It's uncomfortable. Look.
No doubt it's uncomfortable.
When he's there.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, but it's like, I can't help but look at it no matter what.
Well, the thing I loved about this match, he was like crawling around on his hands in the ring, and then there was a point where Legado del Fantasma was on the outside. He pulled one of them underneath the ring, and then he kind of crawled out and kind of was like peekabooing out of the ring. I mean, you got to watch it. I don't do it justice by talking about it, but he was just definitely doing that stalker thing, and he was creeping Legado del Fantasma out, completely. And of course, that part was entertaining. And sometimes I don't really sometimes enjoy that type of humor in WWE, especially. But I thought the way he was doing it was actually very good. It wasn't overdone, but it definitely fit his character, and I liked it. But the one thing I don't like about this match is we got the exact same finish as we did earlier, where we had interference on the outside, and that led to Escobar. I believe he hit a phantom driver and covered Loomis for a pinfall. So again, the outside teammates kind of got involved. So exact same finish. So stop that, please. This is NXT. We don't need to be going main roster route here and copying everything. The new NXT North American champion, Isaiah Swerve Scott and Hit Row confronted Escobar and Legado del Fantasma after the match. They all had words and traded barbs at each other on the ramp. Could be setting up a 6-man of some sort, possibly, and then obviously maybe a North American championship with Swerve and probably Escobar. I'm guessing. Yeah, so that could be good. The matches could be great, as a matter of fact. So we'll see what happens with that. This also was great. Indy Hartwell, I guess, came out during the commercial break. She tried to do what Loomis did with her. I believe it was last week, the week before. Last week.
Him up,
She tried to carry him away like Loomis had done with her, and I guess she fell over. She couldn't hold his weight. I guess she went to kiss him, and that's when Candice LeRae ruined the romantic moment, and she made Hartwell leave. Talk about a party pooper, man. I mean, just can't catch a break. I guess earlier in the show, Beth Phoenix had basically told Hartwell to make a move on him, and she tried to, but got foiled by her best friend Candice. So that's
the big payoff. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, and not only that, since Nox is now on SmackDown, she really doesn't have Candice LeRae doesn't really have a feud. At what point does Indy Hartwell turn on the way, or at least Candice, and because of Dexter Loomis? I think that's where they're going.
They're not tag champs anymore. There's no reason for them to stick together, and I think people want this Dexter Loomis and Indy Hartwell thing.
At least for a while. It might be an Otis Mandy Rose situation that I don't know how much legs it'll have, but for the time being, it's going to be something the crowd wants to see.
Behind it.
I mean, I could see it building to maybe a SummerSlam, and maybe they finally do it. They not literally, but she hinted at it earlier, talking about how I wanted to do something. I'm sure he did too, but it's CW romantic stuff. But hey, do you, boo boo? That's all I know.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
After this, we had a first-round match in the NXT Breakout Tournament. Duke Hudson defeated Ikemen Jiro. I think that's how you say it. First of all, I'm butchering these names. Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, my bad.
But I thoroughly enjoy both of these guys.
Yeah, they both did great.
The fact that Ikemen...
Yeah, Ikemen Hero, Ikemen Jiro. I think he said Jiro, but I don't know. Yeah,
I'm not even... He wrestles with a jacket on. My favorite shit.
Because he's got that handsome Japanese strong style or whatever that was.
I fucking love it. But Duke, the Australian cockiness, again, fucking love it. I'm pulling for him in this one. All right?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind the winner of either of these guys, but... No,
I think they both have great charisma.
I thought the promo that Duke cut was way better. In the promo or the pre-tape. Yeah.
But I will say this. I love the fact that NXT does not shy away from the fact that Ikemen does not speak very good English.
Yeah.
Has no problem throwing subtitles on a fucking screen.
Yes.
To tell you what he says in his natural language. I feel like you could have got so much more and get so much more out of Asuka.
Yes, absolutely. Andrade when they had him.
Andrade.
AEW's making it work. So
and Nakamura.
Yes, Nakamura would be another great one. No, he's just got to come out there,
but
with Rick Boogs.
Just subtitles. It's not gonna fucking kill you.
No, it's not. I mean, it takes a little effort. And I think that's why WWE don't do it. That's too much work. But they got no problem with doing magic and hypnosis and weird stuff. But yeah, there's that. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. NXT's handling their foreign wrestlers who don't speak great English.
They do the same thing for fucking the North American champion. No, not the North American champion. The
Kushida.
the
Yes, the cruiserweight. I got you there. It's all good. Hey, yeah, don't worry. I felt like I kind of, didn't do very well earlier in this show, so I'm kind of like, some of these guys' names are hard to remember sometimes.
Why their names are drawing a blank?
I know.
I could see them in my head, and I'm like, I know his fucking name.
It's been a week since we've talked about him, so yeah, there's that too. Sometimes you get out of the flow of it.
Yeah, but I've said it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But yes, Kushida, he'll translate from English. He'll transition, not translate.
They translate for him as he transitions. Yeah, absolutely. I got you. It's all good. But yes, I agree. NXT's handling it much better.
Yes.
Take notes, Vince. Take notes. I know you don't watch the show, but take notes. But yeah, I thought they both looked good. The finish came with Jiro, or Hero, however you pronounce it, countered a Razor's Edge to get a final rally. Hero with an Asai moonsault off the top rope, Hudson with a counter, and a Winds of Change finisher for the 3 count. Yeah, definitely a good match between the two guys. I like both of them.
I like both of them.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm starting to think Duke Hudson, him or that one big guy, I can't remember the guy's name, might be my favorite.
The black dude?
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name. A lot of these guys, I'll have to remember once they get to him. But yes, he's my pick. He's got this Mark Henry vibe to him. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got in the ring. I've heard he's actually pretty good.
But again, all of them. We've seen a couple of the other guys previously, weeks before in matches. They were squash matches, but
they look good.
Still look great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, that's the way you do it. I mean, look good even if you do lose. Go out there and look good. That's all that matters.
This guy, I really like this dude. Like his promo, I was like,
yeah, not bad.
I can get there.
Granted, it was a pre-tape, so they had chances to edit it in case he did mess up. But it turned out great. He sounded really good here. So it was interesting to also note that Jiro did a tarantula, and they mentioned that he was trained by Tajiri. So I thought that was really cool.
And Muda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I must have missed that part, but yeah, absolutely. So yeah, they both look great. I hope to see more of these guys. Absolutely. Pete Dunne backstage had a backstage confrontation with Timothy Thatcher. Tommaso Ciampa suddenly ran in to attack Dunne as well.
No, he did not have a confrontation with Thatcher. What had happened was him and Birch were talking to somebody. And he said that he was the best technical wrestler in NXT, or either in NXT or the world, one of the two. And Thatcher just walked up and said, "Well, I'm the baddest man in NXT." And then he stared at him, and then he Dunne went to say something, and then off camera, fucking Tommaso Ciampa just comes flying in like, "Shut up."
Yeah. Well, not only that, I can't remember, was Samoa Joe back here in this segment?
No.
With Dunne? Okay. Well, I know him and Dunne have kind of had their issues as well.
It was that segment followed, that interaction followed what took place. So
Okay. So yeah. Go ahead. No, you're fine. I think that this is obviously leading to a tag match between Thatcher and Ciampa, and yeah, absolutely. So this could be great.
Another match you didn't know you wanted till it was shown to you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of like, ooh, that's a nice surprise. So I don't know when we're going to get it. Probably a few weeks from now. So it seems like next week's kind of booked up, but definitely looking forward to this, no doubt about it. I thought at first it was going to be Thatcher versus Dunne, but then Ciampa got in there. I was like, okay, so this, definitely tag match there.
Ciampa didn't just get in there.
He
punched this out of Dunne.
Yeah,
and it was great because Dunne looks over at the last second and goes, and then it was too late by that point.
Now, I am going to say there's been criticism about Samoa Joe supposedly coming in to make this, less chaotic on NXT. It does seem like every single week there's some sort of backstage brawl or pull apart. So, granted, he had a lot on his plate tonight being the official for the main event with the NXT World Championship, but he's not very good at his job. Everything is chaos still. No William Regal tonight, but Samoa Joe needs to get things under control. But it sounds like he's going to have his hands full with.
He's about to get it under control.
Yeah, with one guy in particular. I don't know about the rest of the roster, but because everybody else just keeps killing each other.
He's about to make an example out of that man.
So yeah, I guess you could just say not very good as an enforcer or keeping the peace or whatever Regal Howard would do. Regal may have to fire him.
I still don't know why you did what you did to Joe. That's just one person you should just be like, okay, you shouldn't do what you did.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in the main event.
So
absolutely.
The segment you're talking about was after that, fucking Joe goes to the back, just like he did with Karrion Kross.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, to talk to Gargano. And this made me chuckle because he goes, protect yourself at all times. And then Gargano's like,
yeah.
He goes, listen to my instructions at all times. And he goes, what are you talking about? We're good guys. We follow the law. We're law-abiding citizens here.
He's full of crap, by the way. Yeah.
And what's his name?
Oh, his buddy. I can't remember his name now. We're having a bad night with names, y'all, so forgive us.
Telling you.
But yeah, Gargano and his
Joe, you want a shirt? He says, look at these cool shirts. You need a shirt?
Austin Theory? Is that his name, Austin Theory?
Austin Theory.
Thank you.
He goes, look at your shirt. Get one of these shirts.
Right.
He goes, Gargano goes, oh yeah, we got new shirts. Joe, you can get a new shirt. Joe just goes, walks away and he goes, oh yeah, later. Like,
yeah. Ray check.
Mr. Mayor.
Go visit the gift shop. Yeah. And which is because Gargano's got criticism too about he's been too comedic. But in this case, now not every time, but I thought tonight, especially with Joe's deadpan, not taking any of it, just like I thought it worked. I thought it absolutely was for sure.
So fucking funny. I don't know why it made me laugh the way it did, but it was like, Joe, you want a shirt? And then he just goes.
I'm busy. Yeah. So yeah, he got his thing. But then after this, Joe did have his stare down with Pete Dunne, so that's where I got this. Yeah, maybe eventually we get Dunne and Joe too, but not right now.
One of those things, like I said, that you don't know you want, and they've done it since Joe came back.
Yeah, with multiple guys.
I'm talking about him and Dunne have had this stare down where they don't say anything, they just stare at each other, and then either Joe walks away or Dunne walks away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, one of those things that like you didn't know you wanted it until it was presented to you.
Yeah, and now it's like, all right, I'm good.
And I've seen it now for the third week in a row, and I'm like, fucking punch him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's like I don't know if a lot of you people online probably saw the Korg and Deadpool video that they did with a trailer reaction to Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds' new movie. I didn't know I wanted a Korg and Deadpool team up movie until today. So give it to me. Tomorrow if you can, please, okay. Marvel, anytime.
Make it short. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we don't care. I want to see this. It was a great time. Before this, actually, we jumped ahead a little bit. But Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro defeated Jesse Kamea and Aaliyah with Robert Storms. Catanzaro pinned Aaliyah to win the match. Carter with a net breaker, just as Catanzaro delivered a 450 splash for a wicked finisher.
Dude, that was fucking disgusting.
Yeah. The match was a precursor to the angle that actually followed it. Robert Storm helped Aaliyah off the mat, but she shoved him away. Aaliyah pushed Stone away. She yelled at him that she has done more for Stone than anyone. Aaliyah slapped Stone, and she beat him up rather convincingly, I might add.
Beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, she then punted Stone, and she left the ring, and the crowd was chanting her name. So definitely
she a kiss at what's her name?
Kamea, Jesse Kamea. Yeah.
And she just walked away from her. And Kamea's sitting there like, wait, what's going on?
It's all over for this tag team. Yeah. Aaliyah's on her own now. Yeah, they did. Aaliyah's kind of been getting over, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the crowd wanted it to happen. Mm-hmm. It happened. She got a huge pop for what she did.
Yeah.
It made all the sense in the world.
She looked giddy too, like she was all excited.
Yeah. And so I'm interested to see where she goes from here. I think she'll be great, in singles stuff. And this is a way now to do whatever you're planning on doing with Monet, because she also comes down to the ring after all this, because what's her name was going to get in the ring to help.
Yeah, Jesse Kamea was like, "What do I do here?"
Yeah, and then she comes down and she's like, "Come with me." Like, come with me. And then I love Storm's, no, go ahead without me. Like I'll catch up when you weren't invited. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's one of those.
And he was with them both in the back here in a minute, but it was like it definitely feels like the Robert Stone brand is dead. That's over. Mm-hmm. It seems like there's been a lot of things that happened tonight that was like shifts for NXT.
Yes.
No Knox. Ember Moon's no longer got a tag partner. Aaliyah now on her own. It looks like Frankie Monet and Jesse Kamea are going to be a pair, and we don't know where Robert Stone's going to land in this.
And we honestly don't know where Mandy fits in here, because that's who she was talking to.
She's kind of just scouting people, it looks like right now, a little bit.
And what she say, it looks like this business event is over.
Yeah, it's under new management, I think. Looks like Frankie Monet appears to be the leader. Now, maybe Robert Stone's kind of the third wheel there. I don't know how they do this, but him being in a leadership role, it's pretty well over, I think, at this point for sure. Yep. So then we had the whole thing with Gargano and Pete Dunne. Then we had part 2 of Cameron Grimes as LA Knight's butler. The joke was again on LA Knight, though. Grimes paid a kid to do Grimes' chores. Knight insulted the kid and told him to leave, so the kid kicked Grimes in the knee. He had it coming, really, that's for sure. LA Knight then took a bump into the pool as Grimes was trying to wipe up sweep up some money that he tried to offer
with
the kid.
a rake.
Yeah, with a
First
rake
of all,
for that.
With a rake.
Yeah, absolutely. This was great stuff.
Did you see his Calvin Klein underwear?
Yes, it was. I mean, I was trying not to look, to be honest, but it was.
And then
yeah,
he was gonna give the kid $500.
yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. And of course, I'm sure the kid got his money for all of you out there.
Oh,
why
yeah.
would he? But absolutely. But
he goes, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be your butler, but then I also realized that I'm a freaking millionaire.
yeah, this report failed to mention it too. But there was another segment, or at least I don't think because this was the last segment I believe it was. There was a segment where he was trying to. LA Knight was wanting him to mow his large front yard or whatever it was, and I guess LA Knight or Grimes was trying to use this huge ride mower, and I guess LA Knight wanted to use this push mower. Grimes was like, okay, great. I used to have one kind of like this when I was growing up and stuff like that.
He said, my grandpa used to chase me around, or my grandma used to chase me around the yard with this.
Yeah. So, I mean, this was great. I mean, just more Cameron Grimes sticking it to LA Knight, and we all thought that and even I thought, Grimes was going to probably be like, oh, I got to get out of this. Kind of like the way they did it on NXT or AEW with Chucky, but with Miro.
We will get one of those. This was the first one. We're going to get that one where eventually LA Knight's going to get the upper hand in the situation. That's going to happen.
Maybe. But I think for a while they flipped this on its head and go the way it is. Which I'm glad they did it because I didn't expect it. So
no, I think you do. You make it seem like this is all backfiring in LA Knight's face. But he's going to get that one moment to where he defeats him morally, and whatever it is, he defeats him in this, and I think that's when you'll get the, well, you're just a dick, because right now you're laughing at he's getting his comeuppance in the fact that he won the match in this ridiculous stipulation. Now you have this butler, and now this butler he's the Jeffrey of LA Knight right now. You know how Jeffrey was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. Or they could do it this way. You keep this thing flipped on its head like it is, which I love, by the way. I mean, it's so opposite of what you would expect to have happened.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think you keep doing this, and what you do is Grimes gets on LA Knight's nerves so bad that it gets to a point where Knight can't take it anymore, so they set up the third match for the $1 Million Championship. And Knight, and of course, he's probably wanting to fire Grimes, but Grimes is like, no, a deal's a deal. I said if I lost, I'll be. So I'm going to be your butler. So LA Knight will get so frustrated at this that if he can beat Grimes, he'll have to leave him alone forever. And then, of course, I would assume Grimes wins the $1 Million Championship at that point. But that's probably the way I would book it. It would be different.
Be his butler for a week. Oh, could you imagine?
You could throw that in there if you want to. Sure.
Flip it on its head.
Yeah, you could.
Where now it's LA Knight is going to be the butler to Grimes. Oh my God, I would laugh. Him and Ted DiBiase sitting by a pool somewhere, cigar, drinking,
umbrella, drinks in hand.
LA Knight standing there in the background with a towel in the suit, like.
I mean, it very well could go the way you're saying too, where eventually Knight gets the upper hand.
Yeah.
But personally, I just kind of like to see him get so frustrated. All right, I'll if you leave me alone.
Your way makes sense, and I think it'll be, and I think, especially in the case with Cameron Grimes being this, he's still a millionaire.
Yeah.
And so he can be that annoying
Thorn and Knight's side
to humiliate you here, and it's not working. I think that'll work better.
Let's see what they do. I've got to hope they do it that way, but we'll see what happens. Adam Cole, during an in-ring promo, he said, "I told you so." Cole proved he was better than Kyle O'Reilly by beating O'Reilly at the Great American Bash. This doesn't mention as well, there was a sit-down interview with Wade Barrett and O'Reilly. O'Reilly talked about how basically he felt like he wanted to get that old killer instinct, but now he kind of wonders if he wants it anymore. So he's definitely talking about how he still will beat Adam Cole again. So it sounds like we're going to get this again at some point. But this promo here where he's basically talking about how he beat O'Reilly at the Great American Bash, Cole said he was tired of talking about O'Reilly. Cole wanted to talk about Samoa Joe, which another guy who's kind of been button heads with Joe. Cole went on to basically threaten Samoa Joe here. Cole was nobody. He said nobody was mad enough to face him, and out comes Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, who lost the North American Championship a few weeks back, and we all thought he was going to the main roster along with Karrion Kross, depending on what happened tonight. Apparently, the news that broke this week was the WWE main roster draft has been pushed back from August to most likely October. So that gives Bronson Reed and Karrion Kross some time to stay on the NXT brand for the time being. So I think that's what happened. I think the original plan was for them to go up in the draft, and maybe they've just decided to hold off for a few more months. So we'll see if that ends up being holding true. But Bronson Reed said he has nothing to lose. He told Cole that he was a master of mind games. Reed said all eyes were on him and his next move. Reed said Cole is NXT's golden boy, and he's Reed's golden opportunity. Cole went to super kick Reed, but Reed caught Cole's leg. Reed went for a lariat, but Cole ducked the clothesline. Reed then splashed Cole, and Cole bailed out of the ring. Cole ate this splash. I mean, he ran into a brick wall of Bronson Reed, so this could be great. Obviously, they may be putting the O'Reilly feud on hold for now. Maybe they're going Bronson Reed at him, Cole.
Which and
I'm fine with that. We've seen O'Reilly and Cole a lot lately, so I totally agree with that. Let's hope that's what they do.
A break would do it some justice, and then when you get it again, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about you two hate each other. Yeah,
and then you have that nice time off, and you enjoy it more when that comes around again. So well, let's hope that's what they do. If not, maybe. I don't see why they would do this and Reed not get Cole next. It would make no sense. But yeah, I think that's where they're going. Samoa Joe, still dressed in his referee gear, came down to ringside. He glared at Cole and then had a brief stare down with him as he walked past him to the ring. And then we cut to commercial, and they came back and announced next week on NXT Kushida and Bobby Fish versus Roderick Strong and Tyler Rust that they set up earlier. And Xia Li will challenge Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's Championship on next week's show as well. So could be interesting there for sure between the two opposing factions for sure.
Yep.
Frankie Monet was backstage with Jesse Kamea and a disheveled Robert Stone. Mandy Rose confronted them, and Rose quipped, looks like the Stone brand is under new management, as we mentioned before. So there was that segment. Then we had the main event. Karrion Kross defended his NXT Championship against Johnny Gargano.
Johnny put up a great fight.
Yeah, this was actually a really great match. Gargano.
Karrion Kross put it on him.
Yeah, it basically came down to a point where Kross had Gargano and wouldn't let him go or wouldn't let up. And Joe gets in his face like, yo, what are you doing? And so, of course, Kross kind of shoves him off, goes to the outside to attack Gargano. Let's see. He repeatedly slammed him into a barricade. Kross picked up a section of the ring steps, seemingly looking like he was going to smash Gargano. That's when Joe blocked Kross from using the steps, and Gargano then was able to DDT Kross on the floor, which he dove from the inside of the ring to do. A great spot. Then Gargano went for his slingshot DDT, but Kross kicked out at 2, which I thought at that point Gargano won because that was a great near fall, especially with all the rumors of him going to the main roster. I thought Gargano had it. Kross then nailed Gargano with a strike, and Kross several times powerbombed Gargano. A Saito suplex, and Gargano was on rubber legs. Kross again clubbed Gargano with a strike from behind, and Kross covered Gargano for the pinfall. A little shocking just because all the news we heard about Kross, but I believe overall this is the right call, and I'm glad they kept Kross in NXT for the time being. But this is all mainly, with the match notwithstanding, which we mentioned was absolutely incredible, so just definitely go watch it. This led to the post-match thing. Kross and Joe had another stare down after the match. Joe turned to walk away and leave the ring as Scarlett held back the champ. Soon as Joe turned his back, Kross leaped into action, and Kross choked out Samoa Joe while Kross screamed at Joe that Joe brought this on himself. This was a great way to end the night. It was a great segment to set up what looks to be, apparently Samoa Joe's cleared, and it looks like we're getting Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross. I don't think it'll be for the belt.
No.
But never say
Not
never.
Right now.
Maybe Joe ups the ante at some point. Who knows?
And my first thought, I'm not kidding. I even said it to Miranda. She was like, I was like, ooh. And she goes, what? I go, he's not supposed to be doing that.
I didn't think so either, but...
And she goes, what do you mean? I was like, last I heard, he was injured in a sense where, like, he could not wrestle right now.
Right.
And I was like, but he is being choked out right now. And I go, he also said that he can't touch any of the wrestlers. It's part of his deal.
Unless provoked. And that was provoked. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a hell of a provocation.
Yeah, that's not something that goes away in a week. Samoa Joe will be out for blood next Tuesday. There's no doubt about that.
You don't forget about getting choked.
Now, does this guarantee that Joe is facing Kross and he's been cleared? No.
No.
But it does definitely further the notion that Joe and Kross is going to wrestle.
It does warrant some answers.
If nothing else, it definitely warrants Joe's going to at least try to punish Kross.
Yes.
But I would assume they wouldn't do this unless Joe was ready to wrestle again. Because that's what now every fan wants to see. And of course, Vince has this old adage, don't tease it if you're not going to deliver. Now, granted, there's been times where he's broken his own rule on that, I'd say.
Yeah,
but in this case, I think, Joe and Kross is definitely going to be a match that's coming down the line here. If not, I just don't understand the reasoning into doing this. So probably, my guess is SummerSlam TakeOver or whatever that, whatever their TakeOver show is for that week or that month, whatever it might be. So, yeah, absolutely looking forward to this. This could be a great thing if Joe is ready to go.
The pop when his music actually hits,
to
actually come out to wrestle, not just come out as an enforcer.
And hopefully we'll be in front of a good-sized crowd. Yeah, which NXT, I know the main roster, Raw and SmackDown starting this week is going to have live fans back, and Raw next week is going to start to follow suit. It'd be interesting to see if NXT's going to, I know they were in the Performance Center for a long time. It seems like the Wrestling Center now is kind of their home. But and they've had some fans there, but do they venture out to maybe start to go on the road a little bit? I don't know. Or they go back to the Performance Center. I don't know if they're going to do that either. But yeah, you would at least think for the TakeOver shows, it'll definitely be in a live crowd venue for sure. So, but yeah, great ending to the show. Glad that Kross and Bronson Reed still appeared to be on NXT for the time being, and let's hope it stays that way. Any other thoughts on the show before we get out of here?
Other than, I'm intrigued to see where we're headed from here because there's a lot of new pieces that they've put into place, and I want to know where this goes. Yeah, a lot of things, like I said, shifted on this show a little bit to kind of set up some pieces. So I'm happy to see a little bit of newness or new freshness, whatever you want to call it, the new hotness, as Will Smith used to say. Yeah, so maybe something like that. So yeah, it's good to see, especially since they had some call-ups. It looks like we still could get more in a few months' time, but at least for now, they are set up pretty good going forward. But the real question here is, guys, why Mandy Rose is there? Yeah, exactly. And another thing that shifted. So it's like, all right, interesting. Again, where's Finn Balor too? He may just be taking some time off for the time being. He's probably taking time off. He worked his ass off. Yeah, he did. So he well deserved. But at some point, you got to figure either he's going to the main roster too. I heard at one point could be a possibility. SmackDown was the rumor. You probably enjoy it there more than any place. But Raw was where I think Raw was where he was at. And it wasn't good for him at all. Raw's just a dumpster fire right now. God bless you if you like it, but it's just it's terrible when it comes to Wrestling 101 booking. It's just like, what are you guys doing? I hope as a wrestling fan, live crowds come back and this shit changes. Yeah, because you would think that a lot of live crowds would completely crap on a lot of the stuff they've been doing and let them hear about it. But there's a lot of fans out there who actually enjoy this. Nothing against it. If you guys do, more credit to you. It's just it's not my thing. It's not pro wrestling. It's sports entertainment, which that's a whole other argument. But anyhow, that'll do it for tonight's review of NXT for July 13th, 2021. But the real question here is, guys, what did you guys think of this week's show? Do you like where they're going? Do you like some of the changes they've made? Are you glad that Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed are still on the NXT brand for the time being? Comment down below. Let us know. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when we put up new content right here on this channel. And until our next video, guys, take care.
Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right. I swear to God that I can jump and roll. Yeah, I got shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.